Though the presidential and National Assembly elections have been concluded, with the winners already announced, some residents of Bakassi in Cross River State are not happy with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for denying them the great opportunity to choose their leaders. Despite the peninsula being ceded to Cameroon following the judgment of the International Court of Justice, Bakassi is still one of the 774 local governments recognized by the Nigerian Constitution, and most residents of the area are still Nigerians. Out of the 70 polling units in the area, voting took place in only about 20 polling units. Registered voters in the 10 wards in Bakassi were largely disenfranchised. Joining us now to share our 2023 governorship and presidential election, National Assembly elections experience is Senator Florence Ita-Giwa, a member of the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Thank you for joining us, Senator Ita-Giwa.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back here.
Before we discuss general issues, let's start with Bakassi.
Yes.
What exactly happened? How could INEC have overlooked the people when, of course, voter registration took place in that part of the country?
Yes. I think it's most unfortunate, and it's a two-way thing. I think you're talking about a territory that was unconstitutionally and illegally ceded about 15, 16 years ago. And we were taken to an area, that we had to mimic where we were taken away from, a coastal area, which if they had developed the area, they wouldn't have had the problems, but it's an area that was still, okay, this is Bakassi, and Bakassi has remained the constitution of Nigeria, and but nothing has been done, no jetty, no infrastructure, nothing. But for us, rather than go to Cameroon, you understand, we were okay with that. Even when people were talking about going to address the issue, going back to ICJ, Nigeria had enough time to appeal. You understand? But they did not. So anybody that talks about going back for appeal is, exercising futility. However, coming to the issue of voting, INEC registered the resident, because registration, that's why I keep talking about, the issue of voters registration is the most important aspect of election, which we manage to, and sometimes we carry them out. Even those that sit behind in Cameroon, we bring them out. We have an arrangement with Cameroon that we send boats to Cameroon because they have Nigerian voters card. We bring them to register. But for some reason, the first election, if you abandon an area, there'll be serious crime in the area. You understand? The militants, who call themselves freedom fighters, will go and occupy the area. And most times, whatever you want to do would depend on, how their reaction would be. You understand? So this time around, INEC came out and we went there. Took a lot of trouble together because I think I did a broadcast the first time, the presidential election. We had worked very hard. We had, campaigned. So we went there to vote, only to get there. And I came back and said that there were militant threats. You understand? In the area, they had information that the militants were threatening to shoot and destroy things there. But I had gone there earlier, and actually I was on the high sea when I got to know that they were not coming. So Nigeria, I'm seeing the image on your screen now. Nigeria has to develop that area for the people. Nigeria has to, I believe that for us it's okay there, but Nigeria has to develop the area, because where you send people there to endanger their lives, it's not good at all. So that was the reason INEC gave. But then the second election, we now insisted that we must go. You understand? And actually gone into, had gone into discussions with people. We had sent people earlier on to the islands, to make sure that we're going to get at least some kind of, not too bad reception. So the second election, we managed to get there. And unfortunately, there's no jetty, there's no way, depending on the tide, there's a limit to where you can get to. So that's why, second election, I had to vote on a boat. Yes, sitting down in a boat, I had to vote from there. So, but it's still the carelessness of the country, seeding people and leaving them homeless. But I can say that in Nigeria today, if I want to speak the truth, I'm number one IDP. I'm a refugee in my own country. I don't have a home. I cannot get to where is my home.
So, how many thousand people were disenfranchised in all of this?
Sorry?
How many thousand people were disenfranchised?
In that place, you're talking about maybe about 30, 40,000 people. But registered there is about 21,000 in the Day Spring area.
Did you know maybe INEC raised it part of their incident report?
They should have. I don't work for INEC, but they should have, because when I personally went to the rec and reported the first time, and I now insisted, because as soon as, I tell Nigerians I always take my case to Nigeria. As soon as I came out from that Day Spring, I called a press conference. I reported we are just coming back, and I couldn't vote. But now, I now insisted that we must not be disenfranchised this time. We have to be allowed to vote because we are Nigerians, under whatever conditions. So I even made the people go there a day before, you understand, to make sure. Then I went there, and when they said, okay, there's no jetty, they cannot go on to another, so it's okay, bring everything, let's vote here.
So you guys voted in the canoe on the
I
water?
voted in the canoe, yes. The younger ones could jump up, but I voted in the canoe. I had my image taken in the canoe.
Okay, two things. Number one is you said the people of Bakassi have been neglected. They've been
yes, indeed, absolutely.
ignored, for more than 15 years.
Yes.
The ICJ judgment was about 15 years.
Yes.
Okay, but there's something they call the Bakassi Stabilization Fund.
Yes.
By the federal government.
Yes.
So what has happened to that Bakassi Stabilization Fund over the years? Number two, the Cross River State government, not too long ago, said the government had provided housing for the people of Bakassi, 52 housing units. There was also talk about Bakassi Deep Sea Port. So all those efforts, does it mean that those things do not exist?
Number one question I cannot answer, because nobody has ever called me to a meeting about the stabilization fund. Even though over the years I've been the leader of the people. So I do know that there is a stabilization fund, but I cannot sit down here to tell you what happened, what the stabilization fund is done with, because I don't know. Number two, I can answer you that I had made an effort, excuse me, I don't know whether it's from the stabilization fund, but there was an estate, you understand, that was built for the people. 56 housing units, which I was actually, appointed chairman to allocate. And we did allocate and provided all the, whatever they needed, and infrastructure was provided, there was lights and all that. Unfortunately, during NSAS, there was actually an issue, because the villagers wanted some of the buildings and said, no, you cannot come because this is for refugees and all that. So I don't know whether that's what caused what happened during NSAS, because during NSAS, the whole of that estate was pulled down. You understand? By the original villagers. During NSAS, the whole of the estate was pulled down. So I now had to take my people back to the classrooms where they were living before. So right now they're homeless again. In Akpabu, yes, I had to take them. Immediately after NSAS, I had to evacuate them, because the whole thing was pulled down. With toilet, with ceiling, with everything was pulled down. I've never seen anything so violent.
So those homes have been damaged now.
Damaged.
Okay, let's put a cost to it. While this election process went on, the candidate of the ADC in Cross River State was saying that the government was account for 500 million every year paid in those Bayelsa stabilization funds since 2008.
Yes.
So you've never heard anything about this, and this money keeps coming into
No.
the state funds.
I am a Nigerian politician, and I am the leader of the people. Like this spring, they're under very difficult circumstances. I've managed to go and build town hall. In the 10 wards, I've given them borehole because there's no water. Otherwise, they'll be drinking from sea water, So what I can do personally as Senator Ita-Giwa, the leader of the Bakassi people, I have done. But, what government has done with that stabilization fund is what I don't know. But
and you also hold them to account in protest and questioning, the government that if this money is for the people that you're a leader over, how has it been spent?
I don't want to spend today or waste today talking about my relationship with all the government, because I'm sure that even in this arise, you were aware of the time that there was a demonstration that I should go to Cameroon so that there be peace in Cross River State. So I don't want, we've gone past that. There's a new government coming in place. And I believe also, in fairness to Ayade, at least I saw something. I saw that estate. You understand? In fairness to him, I saw that. It's not this. It's from the time of Donald Duke. You understand? So at some point, I decided not to waste my time with them, and just let, because it would be highly hypocritical for anybody to sit down here and start talking about what the governors do and what they don't do and all that, because people get in there and become I don't know what to call them.
But accountability also matters, as regards if the fund is released 500 million by the federal government and we don't see it in the lives of people, means a lot. You talked about the new government. What's your relationship like with the newly elected governor of the state?
Well, I relocated to Calabar for 2 months to make sure that somebody that knows the people, feels the pulse of the people, you understand, gets that we have a human being in government. That's why I relocated.
Well, let's go back to the election.
Yes.
The total number of registered voters for Bakassi, 15,642 or so.
Yes.
At the end of the day, only about 1,167.
No, 1,009 something.
A little above 1,000.
For the second election.
For the first election.
For
the presidential election.
Yeah.
Which I think Labour Party won in Bakassi with less than 500 votes.
Not even up to 500, but that's
just a little over 400 votes.
That's not, because people are angry. Yes, it's okay. And we didn't fight that.
Then on March 18, when they had the State House of Assembly elections, where somebody went from Bakassi to go to the Cross River State House of Assembly with even very few votes. So why is it that the community has not had cause to petition INEC?
No. You see, when people sit down here and talk, you don't know what's on ground. You do not know the difficulty. You understand? The difficulty that people go through in going to bring people out to come and vote in an area that has not received any support from government. It is pathetic. You don't know how difficult. People sit down here and talk. You don't know how difficult. So in democracy, you can win by 1 vote. But all I know is that we managed to get people to vote so that we can put somebody in the House of Assembly to represent the interests of Bakassi. That's all. They had to vote. So those that could vote, even those that voted in the camp, and then there was overzealous security that for you to move people, they said 6 a.m. no movement. Meanwhile, by 6:30 in the morning, people are struggling. But you cannot cross water because there's the place is very, very misty at that time. Also depending on the tide. So it's an extremely, extremely difficult situation that this country has not been sympathetic to. This country has not responded to our cries at all. So if we manage to vote, and we voted 100% for that boy to go to the House of Assembly.
Okay.
And also voted for the governor. Okay. We voted for the governor.
But you talked about the housing units, the 52 housing units earlier.
Yes.
Now, you said the people are angry. Is it that the people went to the housing estate provided by the state government and pulled down everything? Who destroyed that housing estate?
If you recall, no states in Nigeria suffered NSAS like Cross River State. You understand? It was a very well laid out plan where people went to areas where they wanted to, exhibit or show their anger. For instance, even in Calabar town today, I think I'm the only politician or lawmaker that, that nobody came near my house. Because they went round politicians' house one by one to destroy. And in that Bakassi, we just managed because there's always been issue issues, with the original owners of the land, you understand? So if you come there, even if you have bought the land, even if you have paid for the land, the people may not understand. They just feel that you have encroached on them, you understand? And they use that opportunity of NSAS to destroy the estate and drive away the refugees. And that's why I say that. And again, we don't really mind what they did, except that they've wasted government money. But what we want government to do is that's laziness. Go across the ocean where we live. You understand? We are coastal people. We are predominantly fishermen and fisherwomen. They live their life in the coastal area. So go there, we are not farmers. So go to the island and develop the area. Cross the water and go and develop the area. That's where the people want to be.
Okay, let's go back to that stabilization fund issue, because Governor Ayade confirmed in a report that he actually has received 45 billion. I want to ask, is that your area? You are from Bakassi. Is it commensurate to an area that has received 45 billion in stabilization fund?
So you have to invite Governor Ayade here to.
No, because
invite him to come and talk about. We're just, because on a very serious note.
Yes. Let me state the facts as well.
Yes.
The controversy was that people claimed the state government was receiving $500 million.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay, and then there was a clarification that no, whatever money that was received from the federal government was in naira, not dollar.
So it's 500 million naira being paid for over 91 months. And this, it culminates into 45 billion.
Yes.
So, because as you are a crusader for the people in that area,
yes.
a place that has received 45 billion in a couple of months from now should look a whole lot better than that. And that's why we are asking as regards
I don't even know what you mean by looking a whole lot better, because there's nothing in Bakassi, as far as I'm concerned. But I do know that an estate was built and developed and very, very well furnished, and he put this.
So probably the only.
But in my opinion, as a leader of the people, you understand, INEC had delimited the island. You understand that it's suitable for us as coastal people that like living in the coastal region. So INEC had identified where it's called Day Spring, that delineated us from Atabon. We are recreated Abana to Odion. You understand? And we went in there and we're very happy. It's not easy. It's about, 1.5 hours boat ride to the place. But that is where the people want. So I went in there and started trying to put water for them, borehole. I did town hall so that during the election they can have. That's why they're dancing for me. The election they can have.
Do they have an hospital there?
There's nothing. You are talking of hospital. There's nothing in Bakassi other than see. That's what you see. It's water.
So no hospital, no
there's
schools
nothing.
For
there's
people?
nothing. There's nothing there.
Anyway, let's talk in more general terms. The 45 billion, I think there was a statement when there was controversy by Christian Ita, supposed to be money cumulatively collected over time. Not that it was Ayade administration alone.
It's over time. It's not Ayade administration.
It's not as if the administration.
Yeah, you understand from day one. You understand?
Yeah.
See, Ruben, I've been facing this thing from the time of Donald until I became the bad person of the state. So I just left them and then concentrated on keeping the people together until one day something would happen.
But I wanted to ask you a general question after that clarification, which is, what do you think of the entire electoral process? Because Nigeria is so divided. In other words, beyond Bakassi, some people say, oh, this is a free and fair election, very credible, excellent, outcome is in order, whoever is agreed will go to court. But some people say, no, INEC didn't do too well. You cited the example of what happened in Bakassi, but if you look at the country as a whole, in terms of the outcome of the entire process, what will you say?
No, I think if I want to answer you, because I know the attitude of Nigerians, I am a politician and I belong to the party called APC. Apart from the first election, which actually wasn't entirely the fault of INEC, because what happened in Bakassi was that the area is not developed and we have militants there. But for goodness sake, in Cross River State, Labour won election. And I know that I'm very, very strong. I won 4 elections. And from 31 years ago that I won election to the House of Rep under very difficult circumstances, I have not stopped working because I'm very humbled that a human being presented herself 4 times and won the election. So till today, I've not stopped working. But if, like in my house, I develop children, that's again what I'm talking about. I bring children out from the creek. My last 2 are going to be 9 soon. So I have children that I brought from that swamp. You understand? And turn the petroleum engineers now, the graduates, of computer science and all that. And these children that I've developed, send them to the best schools because the change was meant to be total. These children inside my house tell me that, Mommy, we are obedient. With my money, that's when all these years to develop inside my house. But there's nothing I can do because children can see, you understand? The children needed or thought they need change, you understand? But what I tell the children is that change doesn't come like that. Change doesn't come like that. Change is something that happens over time. Nigerians are very, very conservative. Nigerians will worry about, okay, this estate of mine, this what I have, who do I hand it over to? You understand? When I was in the House of Rep, we started talking about new generation because we were as angry as these children. Sheriff, all those people who were young northern boys now, they started fighting with us for change. When I was in the House of Rep, and some of them were kind of blackmailed by their leaders and they started, leaving us, and some of us continued. So, what I don't like about this election is that where they succeeded in convincing the people voted. You understand? But really, there is need for change. And what is happening now is most unfortunate. But I will not come out because I cannot. And Nigerians know Ita-Giwa. You understand? I married a man who died for this country, not this type of journalism today. I married a man who practiced journalism.
What are
you understand? I'm not talking about you. I married a man. I lived in the house with a man that had his resignation letter in his wallet, which I'm sure you knew about. I married a man that Abiola would come to the house and say, they cannot be writing against my party. I think it was NPN or something. And then they would get up and say that if we have one nice little bungalow in Ikeja that we have to move today, we move out today. But because I write what I want to write, I have my resignation letter. So that is from that background that I'm coming from. So, and Ruben, I came into the world through a woman who was Ezekiel's movement, who ran 3 newspapers for Zik, one of the first 2 female journalists in this country, and an overweight woman who went to jail 3 times in her lifetime. That's my mom. You understand? So that's where I'm coming from. So I'm always very, very objective. But the only different thing with me is that I saw the fights my mom went through, and I saw the fight I fought in my early years. So I believe I've come to tell myself that, look, madam, politics is local. If you are in a state and that state is APC, then you are APC because nobody's talking about ideology in politics anymore. It's now to eat. So you just
is that right?
It's all right, but that's what Nigeria. That's what Nigeria is. I'm not talking about me.
So
you understand?
Is it because people are
if I'm in a state where, listen, I'm being practical and realistic. If I'm in a state, if my state is APC, I will not go to war. I belong to the party that my state belongs to. You understand? And I can use that platform to achieve what I want to achieve. For instance, now I've used that platform to bring out a good human being who is going to be the governor of my state. So my governor belongs to that platform. This is a very brilliant, one of the best, it's going to be one of the best governor in this country because he was a brilliant lawmaker in the House of Rep. He was a brilliant lawmaker in the Senate. He was chairman, banking and finance. And he likes the people and the people likes him. He's a human being. That's what we are trying to achieve. I'm not going to say whether this one is yeah,
but in the end, every politician is an individual. And they act based on their interests.
Let me ask you something.
You talked about the fact that...
Wait, let me ask you something.
Yes.
All of us, after all these years, if you have served 2 presidents as I've served, you understand? And Ruben has been inside that villa. They said that they were witchcraft. If you have served two presidents like I've served, you understand? Do 2 conferences, then you know the country. You understand? I know my country very well. The question I ask is that I don't have anything against Labour or Obi, but I'm asking one question. Obi was to contest with Atiku. You understand? Against Buhari, against APC, right? Now, the way I am, I was out of anger. I left APC, which was a very risky thing and a very bad thing to do with the name I have. You understand? But my boss told me that Obi and Atiku would make a good pair. You understand? So I took the risk of moving back to come and support. Mind you, at this age, I'm not looking for anything for anybody. So what the question I want to ask is that if Obi and Atiku had won that election, would they not have been doing second term by now?
Yeah, but the reality is that they didn't win.
Okay, they didn't win.
Truth has to be told. The movement of the young people is pretty much about a politics without this same perceived structure.
So, but it's the same thing.
But what you're saying is that Nigerians are conservative. It has to be a certain political party. But people have a right of choice. They have a right to be able to
Nobody's stopping. But I'm telling you, I don't like.
And the question is, what has this same established structure done for us? I mean, we're talking about 45 billion.
You have to go.
Nothing has happened in the lives of the people of Bakassi.
Forget about that. You want forget about that. We have passed that one. You understand? What I'm saying is that people sit in Lagos, people sit in their offices and all that. I attended a function at the American Embassy the other day where they call people to talk about women and all that. But have you called a woman that was in the field? I always say that go to the field. It's very, very complicated. You have to be in the field. I watched Patutomi. Patutomi would have made a brilliant leader. You understand? These are the people that this country reject. But again, it is their fault. Because like me,
how is it their fault?
I cannot tell you what I went through for my people not to be denied with all sense of modesty. Ita-Giwa.
So how is it the fault of the people that leaders don't emerge?
You have to go down there and know how to do it, what is happening, and all that. You have to get involved and all that. But coming back to Obi, the question I've been asking people that is that if Atiku had won that election, Obi would have been doing second term now. You understand? They would have been doing second term. But that's not the issue. People have the right to choose who they want and all that. But my own, I stand by the, by the issue of go to court for, judicial interpretation.
Senator.
You understand? I don't like people talking about, God, what kind of lawlessness is that? Why should you say that, there should not be inauguration, there shouldn't be that? You cannot take law into your hands. You understand? Someone has won election, Ruben, let me tell you, the day Tinubu won election, won the primaries in Abuja, I just turned around and said that Tinubu has won the primaries. So he has won the primaries. There are governors, there are enlightened people that came here and stepped down for this man. You understand? People that believe that would have fought election to the end, they came and stepped down for this man. His number was numerically higher and stronger, than the other party. So someone has won election. If you are dissatisfied with the result, then you go to court. They cannot take law into your hand and start deciding whether there's. Do you know what happened during Babangida? With interim government and all that. Please don't take us back. Nobody should take us back.
We need to wrap it up.
Thank you very much.
I was going to ask you, this morning we were discussing the fact that the president-elect is already putting a team together.
Yes.
What will you say to him as he begins to build a team? Briefly, because we need to go through.
No, I think he needs to put a very, very brilliant, fresh team that will move this country forward. You understand? Everybody, it's unfortunate that Nigeria keeps talking about trial, but I believe that Tinubu is seasoned. He was in the Senate, he's around, he's a good politician. He knows how to play politics, that is the thing. So I believe that he'll know who to put together, but I want him to put a good team together, be focused and see whether he can, rearrange Nigeria. That's the way I put it, rearrange the country.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Ita-Giwa, for joining us on the morning show today.